What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have told you in previous videos that I had a dedicated egress window installation video coming. This is the window into the basement that we are going to make into an egress window. If you don't know, if you want to have a safe basement space that you can actually call a bedroom, you need to have an egress window of a certain square footage in order to safely allow somebody to leave that basement in the case of a fire or emergency. And this window does not qualify because the square footage is not, don't quote me, 5.7 square feet or something like that. So we're gonna have to cut this concrete back. I just had some HVAC guys come and deal with this mess that I'm actually gonna redo all next year. So just to get it out of the way. And now we can cut into this window. Never done this. I've installed a lot of windows, but never had to cut a stone foundation back and frame in a window. So let's go ahead and get into this. We're gonna have to cut this concrete back, dig a hole, then we can cut the wall out and install the window. Went ahead and hit a Sharpie line because as soon as I turn on the concrete saw with water, that a snap line would totally disappear. So hopefully this is not too thick. Looks like definitely every bit of 4 or 5 inches back here, Greg. So it's gonna be heavy. Well, that thing cuts like 5 inches, I think, about 4.5, maybe, something like that, 5 inches. And we did not get through all the way. So that means this is a little bit thicker. This used to be a hot tub pad. And I decided we're just gonna cut a big chunk all the way through. Multiple reasons. One, because then when I put this egress well in, the window well, I'm gonna pour concrete all the way back to the house. That's going to, I think, look a lot cleaner if I do kind of the whole section versus just a little square where we're gonna cut this window out. Reason number two, I'm actually gonna use, hopefully if I can get this out, one of these pads for my air conditioners, because I'm gonna move them to the other side of the house. So clean all this up, and so hopefully we can get this out. I don't know. We're gonna have to get the tractor over here maybe, and I don't know. All right, let's grab that chain. We're gonna try to put the chain around this corner. Hopefully pop it up. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know, time will tell. Try to get it as far as possible, Greg. Yeah, let's just try to pop it. I can't really do much because I'm not centered too.
Right. Here, let me,
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good start.
can we take this guy? We want this guy to come this way if we can. And actually,
maybe we can get underneath it and just fork it up.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
But I think there's gonna be too much weight. Okay, hold it for a second. Think you can?
I'm not heavy enough, unfortunately.
There. Okay.
You got the leverage.
That ain't going nowhere. All right. If we can get on both sides so we can drive the tractor right in and get the forks underneath of it. I mean, I'm right on the edge. I'm either gonna have to climb up or we're gonna have to get it. You think we can get it on? 1, 2, 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just getting in, it's a very awkward position for me to be in.
Right.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow, why was that so heavy? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Watch your hands.
Yep.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, we got our concrete cut. We got a nice clean edge so we can pour back around this window well when it's put in. But now we got to kind of get the hole dug. So we're going to clean up all this mulch, try to save all this nice pea gravel so it doesn't get all nasty. And then we'll get our measurement exactly where we've got to dig. So you got to be minimum of 3 foot off the house. The window well is 3 foot. And I think the window well I was looking at was 50 inches, but we're gonna have to dig bigger than that because we have to mount it on the outside. So we got a lot of digging. Greg and I figure we've got to go, how deep, Greg? About 3 feet?
3 foot, yep.
Yeah, we got to dig about 3 foot by 3 foot by, let's call it 6 foot-ish. Let's see, if we did that math, how much cubic feet is that? 3 times 3 times 6, 54 square feet, cubic feet, I mean. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have that right. I think cube is
I'm pretty sure.
Length times width times depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. 54 cubic
sure
feet.
Right.
That's a lot of dirt. I wonder if that's a yard of dirt, Greg. That would be 3 by 3 by 3? No. Is that right? I don't know. How do I know? 3 foot. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. You gonna try it? Or do you want to keep putting it in?
I'll try it.
It's not that bad, is it?
No.
No.
Look up.
Bro. Look out! Don't go that way. What are you doing? Oh, man, I'm starting to think maybe $6 grand was worth it. I could probably find some kids to dig this for like 600. Think about that. Hey, kid, you want to dig this? I'll give you 600 bucks. You know what kid wouldn't do it? Greg, 600 bucks. You want 600 bucks? Get this all dug out. Whew. All right, got the hole dug. I don't know what time it is. It was a lot of work, but it actually wasn't too bad because the ground was damp. We've had a couple rains, small rains, and I don't know why it was so wet here.
All the way down.
Not wet, just damp.
Sticky.
Yeah, just sticky. Yeah, it's clay, so maybe it just holds the moisture. I'm not really sure, but it helped in our digging. I think we're low enough. I think we're big enough. We do have this gas line right here, but I think we're gonna avoid it. And I'm gonna go pick up a window and a window well. We'll get that set in here. We'll get it marked. We'll get it ready to mount. And then that'll determine how much more maybe we need to clean out. Because what I really need to do is have enough room to make a cut. We got a brand new tool the Husqvarna cut and break. If you haven't heard of it, it's literally, I've seen it done so many times. I've always wanted one, never had a reason to, and now I have one because it will cut up to a 16-inch cut into the concrete. So pretty special, pretty unique. So let's get all that done so we can get to using that saw. All right, guys, time has come. We've got, I think everything kind of prepped inside. We took this window out. We got plastic. We're gonna do all the cutting from the outside to reduce as much water from being sprayed in and dust and debris. So we got to get our hole marked out. So our window is 32.5 by 40.5 rough opening, but I also have to take into account that I need framing around that to mount the window. So let's get a laser line down this edge, kind of squared up as good as possible, and we'll get that measured out. Oops.
Whoa.
Sorry. Now we got to get a very nice and level bottom cut. So dimensionally we're 40.5, plus we're gonna bring this down. I think we decided
Two 2x4s, right?
Well, probably 3 stacked. So that'll be 4.5 inches. Can I see my tape measure? Sorry. I'm just looking inside at the old ceiling. So 4.5 I think will be good. And I'll have a couple inches above the window for a piece of trim, you know what I'm saying? Probably the most crucial part here, want to make sure that we get all this correct because I do not want to make all these cuts and then have to recut. So I'm gonna try to do my diligence. What we're gonna do is, I've got these marked, and it's more or less just to use as measuring points, but I'm gonna take this board, it's a really nice straight board, and I'm gonna Tapcon this right into the wall. And what that's gonna allow me to do is kind of keep my blade against that and not jump around and hopefully make a nice straight cut. That was a tip from a friend of mine who has used this saw many times and said it's a good idea to do that. So I'm gonna take his advice. So we got our marks. Let's go ahead and get this board mounted, Greg, and we'll get the first score kind of around everywhere and go to town. This is the only thing I'm worried about right here, but it does go off that way pretty quick, so hopefully it'll not be a big deal. All right, this is the Husqvarna K4000. This is a sub $3,000 saw, and it's definitely very specialized. What you'll notice is that it's very long because this thing can cut up to a 16-inch cut. The way it works is you'll see we've got a double-bladed system. So when this thing cuts, it's gonna leave the center kerf in the wall, and then we have a breaker that comes with the saw, and this is used to break out your concrete kerf that is in the middle of those two cuts. As you break that, you then can go even deeper into your cut. So the nice thing is we've got a small blade. It's not this massive blade that has to be over twice the size and diameter of the cut that you're looking to make because, I mean, naturally you can only get through part of the saw. This allows us to just keep going straight in. Very cool design. My buddy Kiefer, Toolaholic on Instagram, he's the one that turned me onto this saw, told me this was really the only good option for cutting in an egress window because that small blade is manageable and it allows you to get really tight corners so you don't have this huge radius that doesn't allow you to get in. So this is my first time using this saw. We're gonna get it hooked up to water and yeah, we're gonna give it a go. The nice thing is, because it's so long, that also will help us keep it hopefully square to my cut so that I can go in exactly where I wanna be. This is gonna be the tough part, Greg.
There's no light up on that cord.
How do I stop this? Oh, it's a turn.
Did we trip the breaker then?
Maybe. You wanna go check? I got it. What was it?
It was at 20.
This is using intuition, I guess. That looks like a perfect score right along the piece of 1x. So I need to get this kind of established a little bit better. And then we'll move this one to that side and get that guy. All right, now we got this nice and established. I feel good about that. I'm gonna go ahead and move this board over to the other side, and I'm gonna change my boots into a pair of muck boots so I don't get muddy, wet feet. Ugh. Ugh. All right, we got the main outline kind of established. I am gonna cut this right in half, and that's just to make this a little bit easier. One other tip that I was taught was when you do these cuts, probably the tendency is gonna be to cut your sides because that's gonna be the easiest thing, but you really wanna cut that bottom first, and the reason is when you finish your cut, the weight is gonna wanna come down and drop. If your sides are already done, that's gonna pinch your saw. This way, we'll get all the way through on the bottom, then we'll finish our sides. So I am having a problem. I think I've got this plugged into an outlet that's also my dehumidifier in the basement, and every time that dehumidifier kicks on, it's tripping me. So looks like we're good to go again. So, all good, Greg?
Yep.
All right. Let's go ahead and we'll get this bottom cut established, and then I think we're just gonna get a measurement on this saw so we know how far to go in before we kind of get careful with our water usage so it's not just spraying inside. It's gonna get some, but it is what it is. This is gonna take a while, Greg. Look at that, we cut it, we break it, and then we go back in and do it again. So we're just getting like, you know, a couple inches at a time, but it does make it, I would hate to be doing this with a saw that probably weighs twice as much. All right, we got our first cut through. That's just to separate this chunk into two pieces. Now I'm gonna start my bottom cut. I'm just gonna get the hard one out of the way. I already know it's gonna suck because I'm gonna be down real low. I don't have a perfect angle to check my saw for level, and I need to really make sure I go in as level as possible. I can modify my sill and do some things later, but the better I do with my cut, the better I will be overall. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I don't know why I'm tripping a breaker. This thing must just be pulling like a full 15 amps, even though I think I'm on a 20 amp breaker. So I don't know, maybe if you've had one of these in the past, have you experienced the same thing with the electronic version? I'd still rather put up with a couple trip breakers than have to deal with a gas saw that has additional weight to it. I'm dead in the water, dude. How? You know what I'm saying? Why would it trip after?
Is it a cord issue? Is this cord like, is it hot?
No.
Well,
Hey, I'm still saving a lot of money, so it's worth it, you know? Is it easy? No. Time consuming, but that's why they get a lot of money. So if you don't like hard work, maybe this isn't for you, but this is definitely doable. It's just taking time. I mean, here's the thought in my mind, because I'm such a cheap person, is this saw is a like $2,900 saw. The window well cover, that's like another 800 and some bucks. So if I'm into it $4,000, not even, and I get to do the work, save a couple $1,000s, have a brand new $3,000 saw that I can then put into my business and have for future jobs. I think what a great opportunity. You know, if this is something you're gonna do at your house and you don't really need a saw, you can rent these. And if you gotta, you know, rent it for a couple days because you're slow and you're being careful, and you're only, you know, spend $100 on the rental or something per day, then definitely there's no reason that you can't do this. This ain't too bad. We just need to keep this stupid thing from resetting the breaker.
You good or did it pop?
It popped.
Golly, man.
I know, it's a pretty hard job you got down there hitting that breaker every couple times.
Well, I'm gonna have to go going in and out of this stupid plastic here.
I'm gonna go ahead and finish my depth. The nice thing is we kind of figured out if I go right to this little bolt here, that's all the way through. So I can go just till I get there and leave it attached just a little bit, trying to keep as much mess out of the basement. Son of a... Did you feel that one, Greg? I think we got this first section pretty close to being free. It's not perfectly cut up at the top, but I think it will kind of break free when we start hitting it. What do you think, Greg? Let me,
It's moving.
yeah, but let me go ahead and hit. Let me take some more out of the corner, okay? Okay, now do this one. Yep, perfect. Okay, here, now take this, shove it in that hole, and just flip it over. Ready?
I'm gonna step aside in case it flips. And
I don't think it's gonna slide.
and then
Okay, feed it through. I don't want to make too big of a splash.
splash. What are you barking at?
True green.
Oh.
All right, hard part done. Now we get to frame in a window and get it installed. We do got rain coming tonight and tomorrow, so this is important. So we got to keep moving fast on this. But the cut and break K4000, I don't think this would have been possible without it very efficiently, because yes, this took a long time. It took about an hour and a half per cut, right?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fast, but also I think I got something going on either in a GFCI somewhere or something, because it kept tripping on us, or I just was doing a bad job and I was pitching the blade, which I think I kind of figured out towards the end. just let the saw do its thing. Don't try to push it, because I think that's what was actually making it go. So I take blame for that. All right, let's get this framed up. What's up there, buddy?
Is this plastic good to come down then?
No, just leave it for now. Okay. I don't want the bugs and... Hi. Big shout out to Acme for hooking me up with this. This is a $2,400 saw. So that actually reduces my total on the cost of doing this window myself quite substantially. So I'm just barely over $3,000 in cost if you were to just buy this saw. Check out Acme Tool. They got a great deal on it. And I think they're doing a 10% off actually right now with this saw. So check that out. I'll put a link below in the description. Like I said, you do one basement egress, you pay for this saw and then some. So cool saw. Thanks Acme, thanks Husqvarna, and now let's get this window framed up and installed. All right, so now we're here on the inside. It's gonna be a little bit easier to frame this up from here versus out there in that mud, getting in and out of that hole. You can see how thick this wall is. Definitely made that K4000 cut and break like very much essential. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna frame this down a little bit, and then I've got a 32.5 by 40.5 rough opening for a window. So it should be just about perfect. I got a little bit of extra wiggle room, which is good, so I can kind of check my jam, make sure it's as square as possible. The one thing I do need to do though is build this down a little bit, and looks like I cut that a little tight, and you can see the lintel. This is why I really wanted to choose this location for the window, is this already had a lintel installed, which you can see the brick. The first course of brick is here, and then the lintel sits on top of it. That piece of steel is an angle, and it helps support that brick. If you don't have a brick facade, this is much easier because you can basically put a window anywhere you want and then just frame in across where your rim joist is sitting, which you can see right here. So we're gonna get this framed down. We'll build our window, our box to the rough opening as close as possible, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna seal it and nail it and fasten it, screws actually, not nails, right to this concrete, and then we'll adjust our window inside of that space. You know, you're once in a generation type singer, Greg. Did you know that?
I did not know that. You got the impact, yes you do.
Yep. All right. Well, all right, 15/16. Okay, now we got our window opening. So that means we can set our window in it. And I'm gonna do something on the outside later, but for now we're gonna go ahead and set this window in here because we're at the end of our day, it's the weekend, we got rain coming, we wanna close this up. But remember, we don't ever caulk our bottoms of our windows, so we'll seal everything off except for the bottom. And what I'll do is you'll see I'm gonna build some flashing, and that pan is gonna get underneath here, and it's gonna push the water over this ledge, and I'll build it with some shims underneath so it is on a constant slope. Okay, pencils, stick them out there. Good?
Yep.
I need more pencil, it's too high. Just hold it.
All you. And then
Close. Yeah, hand me the laser, and then go ahead and close this window back up.
hold the top of the window.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, we got the window installed. That is the major hurdle, obviously. It was a big day, took way longer than I anticipated to cut the concrete out. Learning curve wasn't that bad. Next time I think it could be a little quicker. And also, one thing to note, when you're doing your rough opening, I gave myself a little bit extra room, and that actually made this window install a little harder because the nail fin is way super tiny. So definitely think about that. And then I think the next step here is we need to do some trims, some waterproofing, some flashing detail to get the water to run on a slope. I thought it would be easier to do that than to cut the concrete at a slope because it was hard enough cutting down there at all, let alone trying to keep a consistent slope in and hit exactly where you wanted to as you went in. So big deal is though we got that in. So next thing we can do is trim, and the last thing I'll do is we'll put our window well in here and figure out what the heck to do down here. Ready? 3 to 5 seconds, dude. Line it up. Oh, oh my God.
No way.
Holy crap. Well, we're gonna run to the table saw, and one side will be...
Oh my goodness.
Holy...
That was quick.
That was insane.
That was insanely quick.
It's weird that a product called Instant Bond is actually instant.
No, I thought we'd have 2 to 3 seconds, and we didn't have any.
All right, buddy, grab it, and let me get mine first. Let me just get it right where I want it. Hold up, don't go down. No, don't go down. Don't go down.
I'm staying.
Okay. You son of a gun.
You moved it.
No, I was gonna do it. That's all right. We got almost all that, so I'll just trim off just this. I'm in shock and awe here, dude. Maybe I put a little too much on, Greg, and that's why it took longer.
Why don't you just do it like this?
I could. It'd be harder to line up.
Would it?
Yeah, I think so. Just for me, you know? Oh, man. I gotta be careful. I'm thinking what we probably should do is get a laser line. I made this mistake on my last window well. Goes back 2006 on my last house. I put a window well in, and I didn't do a good job of, they're kind of weird, so you gotta make sure you put it where you want it. And every day I would mow my lawn, not every day, but every time I mowed my lawn, I'd look at this thing, and it's just a little
crooked.
Yeah, I didn't know any
That's why
better.
you don't look at it.
That's true.
You got to guide me. I can't see nothing.
Okay, you just keep coming forward. Keep coming forward. Okay? Keep coming forward. Okay, I got my hands on it. Okay, now go ahead and, yep, keep coming forward. Oh, wait, hold on. I spent the extra money on a white one.
I see that.
Right there?
Yep. Inch and an eighth.
We're not building a cabinet here, you know?
Pretty close.
What?
I thought you tickled my ear.
What? No, it wasn't me, dude.
I like
I know you did. I know you did. Okay. Oh, dude, no way. Come on, man. Come on, man. Push hard. Push hard. So now you can see my pit. This has all been dug, and then I put this clean gravel in. So plenty of space for water to accumulate. So there we go, guys. That is the Egress install video. A lot of people were definitely curious about this and wanted this video because they have thoughts or ideas about doing that themselves. Here's what I would say. If you've installed a window before, you can totally do this. Here's what I may recommend. There are companies out there that specialize in cutting the concrete holes in your foundation. Around me in Northern Illinois, there's a company called PAB, and they come in, they do it fast, they have the right equipment, and they'll just cut you a hole. And I think this might have cost me, don't quote me, but I think under $1,000 to have them come out and just cut this hole open. So maybe that's something you do, is dig your hole, have somebody cut a hole in your concrete, but then frame in the window, install the window, properly flash it. You're gonna be okay, I think. The good thing about this is that now I can call this bedroom downstairs in the basement remodel that we're working on, I can call that a bedroom. It's got an egress window and a closet. So tons of value. This is a $6,000 job if I were to pay a contractor to do it. I don't even have half of that cost really into this, and that's even with the cost of the saw. Like, it's right around $3 grand in my total cost. I do have a cost of rock, so I gotta buy some rock. I don't know how much that's gonna cost me. At the most, a couple $100 to fill this. So definitely saved a ton of money. Took Greg and I a couple days, and I think it turned out great. So let me know down below in the comments, what would you do differently? What'd you think about this install? And if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. We're gonna go ahead, we'll get all the rest of this gravel laid out, call it a day, and we'll catch you on the next video.